All right, let's go. Day number 20. And I think you've seen the title of this video where we'll talk about failure. And that's probably one of the more important things, just like with the previous video. If you haven't seen day number 19, I would highly suggest, just because it is about following up, which is very closely tied to failure and the fact that you don't really get what you want ever or right away, right? Because there's also a saying, you can get anything, but you can't get everything, right? Because you only have, let's say, 24 hours in a day, right? There is some leverage, so you can push and get a much bigger effect over time if you have the right, let's say, components, right? If you have other people, if you have more money, right? Capital, code, labor, you probably know all of that if you've seen some videos from Alex Hormozy and so on. But let's not forget that this series is actually about me running ads, and I'll be showing you how the ads are performing. I think we have 25 leads by now. And actually, let's start with this, right? With the fact that you can see that although there are so many leads, there are unqualified leads, right? So basically spending on ads to have discovery calls, and basically not even having discovery calls many times because people aren't really actually booking, even though there's a link. So in the instant form on Facebook, after someone puts in their details, then they have a calendar link. But not everyone takes it, and I think this is where I need to take full responsibility and basically either send them an email or actually call them maybe, although this is not my preference, meaning that I won't be calling someone who I don't even know if they are a good fit, right? I might be calling an eCom business owner, which I know exists, has a store and so on, right? But otherwise it's just a waste of time. And let's be honest, it's better to save time than money. Anyway, why did I want to talk about failure? Well, if you see me lower energy today, it's also because there were some, let's say, personal failures, at least one today, in terms of like communication and so on. And yeah, I mean, this will happen, right? And it's exactly the same as with the previous day when we were talking about following up, about basically continuing, even if you don't see any kind of progress, right? Of course, eventually you might lose some battles, let's say, right? For example, to talk about something else, this week, I'll probably have 2 proposals that I will actually show on a call. So I just have to set today some dates for this week, but I already got access to 2 accounts which are spending over 100K per month. And basically, I think one of them is closer to 150 plus with Facebook, Google, and they spend also on Pinterest and other channels, but not as much. And the thing is that I'm not the only one that will be pitching. And of course, there's always that possibility of losing, let's say, or not winning, because someone else will take that business, right? Of course, I'm super confident because like I know what I bring to the table. I have a deck that looks really good, meaning that it should convince most people. However, it is still on me to have the right energy to explain everything, to ask questions, because yeah, there's a deck, right? But I mean, anyone can make a deck, right? There are 1 million people in this world that can make the same deck more or less as I did, especially with some ChatGPT and so on. Of course, it might take more effort because you don't know what you don't know. Meaning that until you do something, like until you get on a call with brands that are making millions, tens of millions of dollars, of course, you don't really know how to pitch to them, right? Like what's important for them. Because otherwise you might be wasting a lot of time on things that they don't really care about, right? And usually it's not like you want to show a small metric that's there in Facebook Ads Manager, because unless you sell it very well, usually it's not that important, right? The click-through rate, is it important? Yeah, but it depends how you actually package it. Like, is this the main reason why the business isn't doing 20, 30, 50K more? It depends, right? So with all of that being said, basically failure is part of the process. That's how you learn, and sometimes that's actually what you want, because that's the main reason why you'll get some character development, because something hurts you, and because that thing hurts you, you don't want it to happen again. So you will get better, right? It's just like with the body, the immune system. After it gets one virus one time, right? And of course, this doesn't apply with everything, right? Caveat. But it does apply with many things. After you go through something, after you get a virus, then the body adapts and it knows next time how to handle it, right? So these videos are starting to become more personal development, I guess, but even in business, that's what it's all about. I mean, business is just a game of stacking wins, and if you continuously play and don't get discouraged or any bad emotion, of course you'll eventually win, right? It's just logic. So without yapping too much right now, let's switch to the laptop and let me show you what happened yesterday and in the first 19 days basically. So let's switch the camera. All right, so we are in the ad account. As you can see, I'm spending less right now just because I haven't seen results, so I'm trying to make some restructuring around here. The cost cap spent a little, and as you can see here, for the day there are 4 clicks, so that's pretty much it. But if we look at yesterday, you will see that there were 4 leads, which is a higher number than usual, right? So, and that also comes after 12 clicks, so really great numbers here. But I do need to follow up here because I haven't, and that's also because I've actually sent quite a few emails already. I think I've shown you that yesterday I had some notes with every person that I contacted over email, and it's time to follow up, most probably. So as you can see, the ads that are doing the heavy lifting here are these ones. So I would highly suggest, these ones are crushing basically. I mean, you don't get this type of results most of the time, but the problem is that they are not getting in front of the right people. And that's also because there are not so many people who are qualified, meaning that they have or they make over 50K per month with their Shopify site, right? So there are some prerequisites, and it's definitely not an ad issue here, I would say, as much, although the format might need a change, meaning that right now it's instant forms and it might be necessary to focus more on sending them to a different landing page. But I do have some ideas about that, and I don't think there's much else I need to show you right now, except the fact that today nothing is happening. And in the metrics log, if we zoom in here, you will actually see that we are actually getting more clicks and spending less, which is of course what you'd want to see. So is the algorithm getting better? Depends. Let's see. But it is a game of testing, right? I mean, all of these could be failures, but think long term. We still have February, March, and so many other months ahead, right? Like hundreds of months ahead, hopefully. So let's switch the camera. All right, so we're back to end with a conclusion here. So as you've seen, the results are steady. And by results, what do I mean? Well, having all of those leads and keeping in mind that the lifetime value of a qualified lead here is very high, meaning that I could spend 1.5K, and if there is just one qualified lead, just one person who is signed, well, then it will still be profitable. So there's no rush. That's why you can actually see that I'm fairly risk averse, meaning that I do try to plant some seeds and then see if they grow or not, right? So basically you're testing the soil more or less. It's I wouldn't say it's the same with investing, because with investing there's actually sometimes less risk, but also in business, if you actually do something and improve it daily, it's basically almost impossible not to have success or to lose, let's say, right? Because as I mentioned, with failure, that's normal. So basically you will lose a lot of battles, but that doesn't mean you will lose the war, right? Meaning that you might be negative in your bank balance, right? At one point, you might have friends that hurt you, relationships that break you. You might have failure after failure with your business, right? But that doesn't mean you won't get that 1 million in the next 2 years, 5 years, right? Because like the past doesn't really matter. It just informs you in terms of what not to do, in most cases at least. So that was pretty much it. I don't want to make this longer than it should be. So see you tomorrow. Keep failing. It's fine. And see you in the next one. Peace out.